Welcome back to another episode of the Tech Talks Daily Podcast. I'm your host, Neil C. Hughes, and today we're going to be delving into the dynamic world of digital transformation and the pivotal role of the SAP Business Technology Platform, or BTP, as the cool kids might say. And joining me today is the head of the SAP Business Platform at the JDC Group, a seasoned expert with over 2 decades of experience in SAP's evolution. And in our conversation today, we'll explore the crucial 2027 deadline for SAP ECC customers and the hurdles that enterprises face in their journey towards cloud adoption. Michael will also shed light on the complexities and challenges of cloud migration and emphasising the importance of a well-defined strategy to overcome technical debt and enhance IT infrastructure. Buckle up and hold on tight as I beam your ears all the way to Philadelphia, where we're going to dive straight into today's conversation. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell everyone listening a little about who you are and what you do?
Sure. My name is Michael Lemashov, and I'm heading up the BTP development services at the JDC Group. I started my career as a developer in insurance industry on IBM AS400 systems. As one of my clients started looking at SAP R3, I got certified in ABAP development and worked with IBM and Ernst & Young. Then I started my own consulting company and ran that for a few years and specialized in building extensions of SAP core applications. And when SAP created new organization called Custom Development, I was one of the first development architects hired in North America and spent 22 years at SAP, serving in multiple roles, like product owner and business manager and global head of SAP Solution Architects, vice president of innovation, and head of BTP development services go-to-market as well. I worked across pretty much all strategic industries, building products and innovative solutions for global strategic customers, leveraged all cutting-edge technologies in the process, including HANA Cloud Platform and later BTP, and joined JDC Group at the beginning of the year. And as a company, we earned a reputation among our clients for being a trusted business partner in supporting their major SAP transformation programs, and we're helping them drive the operational and financial success.
Well, I've been looking forward to getting you on the podcast for some time now. What we try and do every single day is demystify some of the complex technologies we see in the workplace, talk about some of the real-world problems that business leaders might be experiencing, and also explore solutions and opportunities around that. And from your work at JDC Group, I've got to ask, for all the conversations that you're having there, what are some of the biggest obstacles companies face when they're migrating their SAP investments to the cloud?
I think one of the major obstacles is not having a cloud migration strategy and a clear understanding of what is driving their decision to consider the move to the cloud, what goals they are trying to achieve, and how to measure their success. Another obstacle is increased complexity of customers' application landscape and their architecture. Even some of our smaller customers, let's say less than 500 million in revenue, they have some of the most complicated IT landscapes you could imagine. So SAP footprint is only a part of their overall landscape and overall cloud transformation. So when you look at even just moving SAP ECC to S/4HANA, be it public or private cloud, there are many things they should consider, right? There's harmonizing and cleaning their data and archiving some of the data and removing no longer used custom code, or remediating or refactoring their custom code and so on. And even maybe taking some time to improve your business processes and capabilities that are available on S/4HANA. There's multiple rounds of testing. With all this that they need to do, organizations have super complex IT architecture. And if that's the case, then developing and executing on this cloud migration strategy could be challenging and maybe even require some phased strategy. And because of this complexity, the cloud migrations are not quick and easy thing, right? It's the speed of and the smoothness of the cloud migration process. It depends on the quality and the detail level of their migration strategy. maybe another one to mention is the cost. Cloud services can be expensive. It's not uncommon to hear some customers experiencing a sticker shock, but typically this is a result of lack of good visibility of their current IT infrastructure and how it is used, and maybe not understanding how cloud service consumption models work and priced. In some cases, I think the economies of scale don't work for smaller companies. Recently, we had a customer that shared with us that just to move their SAP ECC to S/4HANA would increase their IT spend 5 times. To me, it was shocking. But what we understood is that over the years, some of these companies are able to fine-tune their environments to a point where they're able to maintain it with a skeleton crew. They own the hardware, they own the software, and for them to spend a lot of money on the cloud transformation, which could take some time, and especially the costs associated with that whole migration process, they're exorbitant for them. So they are aware of the 2027 deadline, but unlikely to make any decisions to move to the cloud. So finally, I'd say that clear understanding of an organization's IT solutions and their requirements can help organization to predict its cloud consumption, and in-depth understanding of business cloud needs and providers' offerings can help them optimize the cloud infrastructure and drive down the cost of the cloud. So at JDC Group, what we offer is a lot of advisory services to guide the customers through these challenging topics and help them define and execute the cloud strategy.
And here we are this week. Many people listening to our conversation today, they're going to be heading back into the office, working out their plans for 2024, making sense of this year. And of course, it is a tech podcast. We've always got one eye on the future. And I was reading before you came on today that 2027, only 3 years away, is an incredibly important year for SAP customers. Can you just expand on that for me?
Sure. 23 years away, you're right. The time really flies. So this thing about 2027 when it comes to SAP, basically SAP committed to provide the mainstream maintenance for Business Suite 7 until the end of 2027. So that's where this date is coming from. Companies have the option to buy a maintenance extension until 2030 for incremental 2% in the maintenance fees. The previous deadline was 2025, but because of the pandemic and a lot of companies asking for extension of this timeline, it was moved to 2027. It seems unlikely that SAP will move this deadline again. However, I'm not sure that many people are aware that there's a small caveat, and it may disqualify some customers from this timeline. And in fact, their maintenance will end in 2025. The caveat is about a requirement for the customers to be on Enhancement Pack 6 to qualify. And it seems that as it stood earlier this year, quite significant percentage of current ECC customers could be disqualified. So some of them are on non-Unicode ECC systems, which may actually require some additional effort for them to move. So these customers would need to plan and execute their upgrade to Enhancement Pack 6 in the next 24 months. So their timeline is actually shorter. And if you think about most CIOs plan their budgets and project loads at least 12 to 18 months out. So this could mean that if this line item is not on their plan, it could be a problem. And another problem could be that resource availability. What we're hearing right now in the marketplace is that it's tight already. And some SAP partners say they already have a 2-year pipeline of projects. So if this remains true, finding qualified resources to do these upgrades could be challenging. And for smaller companies, for which, as I said, the economies of scale don't always work, and perhaps for them, the 2% increase in the maintenance is a price they're willing to pay to push the inevitable to a later date and allow themselves a little bit of time and cushion, right, to better prepare for the upgrades.
And that's just one of the many reasons that I was excited to get you on today. So many things I'm reading about. It's great to have you on here demystifying some of these terms. And another one that I was reading about is clean core. So what is clean core and why is it important to an organization's cloud journey?
Great question, but it's really not a new concept. It's always been there, but somehow it was, overlooked and somewhat ignored. Basically, it has to do with that no standard software perfectly fits the customer's needs out of the box, right? You need to have some sort of extensibility concept to provide the flexibility and scalability for customers to grow their business and not impede subsequent software upgrades. So for decades, SAP allowed customers their SIs as well to make modifications in their code, simplify or automate or improve and tailor the software behavior to their specific needs. And early in customers' SAP journey, this was somewhat manageable, right, through infrequent upgrades. And in some cases, the interfaces would change or maybe break. In other cases, objects are deprecated and no longer functioning the way you would expect them to. But again, they were able to maintain it. But then at a certain point in time, they were no longer able to do it. So it got to a point where nobody remembers why some of these changes were made. It takes longer to maintain them. People moved on, and the technical debt in terms of maintaining these applications continued to grow. So with each enhancement pack and next release, it became more difficult and more expensive to continue in this way. So Clean Core is really an extensibility methodology, which helps achieve agility in addressing your business needs, stability of your processes, and reliability of your applications. So it does that by applying 4 guiding principles. So the first one is cloud mindset, meaning that you need to adapt standard software when possible and favor configuration over development and use cloud technologies for extensions. Second one is decoupling extensions to ensure upgrade stability, evaluating all extensibility options and choosing the one that is most appropriate for your needs. And finally, documenting and remaining fully aware of all your technical debt. There's a rich set of options that are available for customers and for application extensions, both on S/4HANA stack as well as side-by-side on BTP. So when it comes to customers starting and planning their cloud transformation, they should think of lowering their technical debt as soon as possible. And this will make their transformation faster and easier. From the pragmatic standpoint, Clean Core is unlikely a final destination that you would ever get to. It's more of a continuous lifetime journey. And I always say that there's likely 50 shades of clean.
Love that. And the tech industry loves a good acronym. And for people outside of the SAP world, SAP Business Technology Platform, or SAP BTP, brings together data analytics, AI, application development, automation, and integration all into one unified environment. Now, bearing that in mind, how can SAP BTP be better used to support an organization's overall digital transformation and innovation efforts? Because I think we're all starting to accept now that it's not a destination. A digital transformation is a journey, especially with AI being brought into the fray now. But is that something you can expand on too?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, BTP and stands for the Business Technology Platform. It's really unique in the way that it makes a big emphasis on business. It empowers not only the professional developer community, but also the business community to leverage the capabilities exist on the platform. And what I mean by that is it comes with a lot of pre-built and pre-delivered content to make the transformation easier and faster. So for example, cloud platform integration, one of its main pillars, has over 2,300 APIs available to SAP and non-SAP systems, and it can be used right out of the box, and the list of those interfaces is growing. On the application development side, you have SAP Build, one of its low-code, no-code tools, which allow both advanced business users and developers create business applications through visual config. There's also the SAP Work Zone, which allows business users to create portal-like unified user experience for different user groups and bring both SAP and non-SAP systems into it and allow this seamless switching between applications. Really, you can think of BTP as a Swiss Army knife. It's loaded with various services and tools And all of them are designed to bring agility and efficiency to digital transformation. Some of these tools are more suited for professional developers and enable them to innovate on the platform like they never could before. Services like Event Mesh and runtimes like Kima and Cloud Foundry. There's development tools like SAP Business Application Studio and web development tools and Web IDE. All can be leveraged by developers to build professional-grade applications. And in fact, SAP partners, they're using this platform to build and deploy some of the latest innovations in industry solutions.
And if we dig a little deeper on that, can you share on how, when facilitating development and deployment of custom applications, etc., how it also supports scalability and high availability? Because again, huge talking points right now, aren't they?
Yeah, well, as I said, it is platform. The BTP platform is really a comprehensive suite of tools, right? And it does offer all the capabilities for the business as well as the developers to really create innovative solutions. You can use the create applications using the low code and no code. And from the professional standpoint, you can build applications on a variety of languages as well, like Java, Node.js, Python, ABAP, and so on. So all these tools, all these capabilities come with these pre-built templates and libraries, and you can really use them to streamline and expedite your development process. Now, when it comes to supporting scalability, BTP comes with auto-scaling capabilities. It allows applications to automatically adjust the resources in response to change in traffic and the workload. And services within BTP, such as Cloud Foundry, support horizontal scaling. This involves adding more instances of an application to distribute the workload across multiple resources. And as the demand increases, the new instances are created and enable better load distribution and scalability without impacting the performance. It also provides resiliency through the availability zones and achieve fault tolerance within services deployed in multiple availability zones and improve availability of the Cloud Foundry. So the application deployed in BTP should employ these resilient software design and use principles such as isolation and redundancy, loose coupling, and fallback measures as well, right, to make it foolproof.
And I think this feels like the perfect moment to introduce everyone listening to JDC Group's BTP development service practice and the work that you're doing here. So can you tell me a little bit more about how you're helping organizations in their cloud migration and cloud transformation strategies? Because I suspect there'll be a lot of people on that journey right now, and I'd love to learn more about how you're helping here.
Yeah, look, one of the things that actually attracted me to JDC Group is the advisory services. We have ex-CIOs and ex-SAP delivery executives that have gone through multiple successful implementations themselves and with their customers. They are positioned best to offer this peer-to-peer, CIO to CIO guidance on how to get it done and where you need to pay maybe extra attention, where can you find challenges and how to overcome them. And they are the tip of the spear for us to properly position the value of BTP development service practice and what we can do from the tactical and strategic point of view. So from the tactical side, I believe that overlooking and not paying attention to the reduction of this technical debt that we talked about earlier in terms of cloud development during the migration, big mistake. It reinforces bad habits and causes companies make bad choices from the very start. It also binds them to decisions that they made previously and impedes them to adopt the standard functionality, which is one of the most important principles of Clean Core. So here, we're helping our clients make pragmatic decisions based on value realization from their existing custom applications. We guide them through the decision process on what to discard, what to keep, and the best way to do it in case they decided to keep it, and how to do the refactoring. Many customers are starting these efforts well in advance of their transformation project, sort of as a prequel to that. And from the strategic side, pushing innovation to some later time in the future, sometime after you finish your cloud transformation, that's another mistake. I think innovation waits for no one. You can't tell the CEO that while we are transforming to the cloud, which could take a couple of years or more, we cannot acquire new companies or divest part of the business. We cannot implement new business models. We cannot leverage maybe even technology to improve the user and customer experience. What would happen in that case? The business will make the decision for you. They will force you to find a stopgap solution, which will become a permanent feature of your landscape and change the picture of your grand design of transformation. What we can do is we can show our clients how to look at the cloud transformation, not just as the technical exercise to beat the SAP general support timeline or realize savings in the platform cost, but also as a way to harness its capability in the way they didn't think before. They can start leveraging SAP BTP in advance of their cloud transformation, build new processes, build new business models, integrate them with EC backend for time being. And that way, when they are ready to go to S/4HANA, all they need to do is flip the switch and the API and switch it to S/4HANA, and the rest just flows. So what we do well at JDC Group is help our clients proactively identify these use cases and focus either on the revenue growth or operational efficiency. And we jokingly call it make money or save money. We expand the conversation with IT and we include the CEOs and VPs of R&D and marketing, logistics, and other offices of the company, and helping them either build a business case to strengthen their capabilities or build them completely new business case for cloud transformation and innovation.
I love that. And for every business leader or tech team listening to our conversation today, what would be the key takeaways or recommendations that you'd have for that person listening, and especially if they're planning, building, or refactoring their business critical initiatives in the cloud this year?
Well, I think one of the key takeaways is that the cloud transformation is not something you do on a whim.
Yeah.
This is something to be carefully planned and orchestrated, and it requires a clear definition of strategic drivers and the way to measure your success. Most customers are operating in a multi-cloud environment these days, and you need to have a good understanding of your platforms, consumption models, and how they are priced, so you can ensure you reap the financial rewards you plan to achieve, and also justify cloud transformation program. And when we are talking about refactoring, we shouldn't think about everything custom built in your ECC environment. I like to use the analogy of the old house, new house. Like when you have a starter home as a young adult, right? You perhaps built some extra shelves. You maybe extended a room or two, changed your carpet to hardwood floors, right? And made a ton of improvements, but you're not able to take it with you, right? When you move to your dream house, right? And at the same time, after you lived in your starter home for quite some time, you collected all sorts of knickknacks, and you have your maybe elementary school books in the basement, right? You have a whole bunch of stuff that you will never need again. So why not take the time to declutter your basement and your attic and get rid of all the old car parts in your garage before you move to the new house, right? Why take all that garbage with you? However, you made an investment in the killer entertainment system, right? You have these amazing speakers and you have sensors maybe for automation, and why not take it with you, right? Because you can actually install them in your new house. It may not be enough, but it will get you started. Now, what SAP has done, right, for years, they allowed customers to do these things, right? They allowed to create custom solutions to maybe improve their performance or address new business models and so on. So why should you lose all that just because you're moving to S/4HANA? But you also made a lot of clone transactions and wrote a bunch of reports and created some extensions that may be now covered by standard functionality. You no longer need it. Get rid of it. But also, when you are now going to your new house, right? It's this modern dream. you don't have to do things the same way you did before, right? Like it may be to install your speakers, you had to drill holes in the walls, right? And take the wires from one end of the house to another one. You ran a wire from your router to your TV, right? For connection to cable, right? You don't have to do that anymore, right? The new technology allows you to do things differently, right? Now you can have a wireless connection to your 80-inch screen TV. You can be perfectly fine with using new wireless speakers, but you still want to use that amp and preamp from your entertainment system to give you that experience, right, for action-intensive movies. So, sorry for the long-winded answer, but I like this analogy because it makes you realize that there are certain things you can take with you, and there are certain things you don't need. And once you arrive in your new cloud environment, you have to do things a bit differently, right? So focus on the mission critical, something that you cannot live without, and something absolutely not available in S/4HANA or on their future roadmap, and think about refactoring that. Use clean core technologies, right, that are available to you, and think of the ways you can apply them. And most of the time, it will be a combination of several techniques, some in-app extensibility concepts, on-stack or side-by-side, and you may need to rethink your original approach and deconstruct in such a way that you get the same desired outcome, but using cloud-friendly technology. And you definitely need to leverage SAP BTP to speed up your development and your integration. You need to consider empowering your key users with business capabilities of the platform, and that would free your hands to focus on important stuff. And finally, I would say cloud transformations are not one size fits all. They're rather the opposite. So our goal at JDC is to give our clients flexible and scalable engagement models and leading them through cloud transformation.
That's a beautiful moment to end on. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. But before I let you go, I always like to end the podcast on a light-hearted and maybe reflective moment. So if I ask you to look back at your career and reflect on all the moments you've had there and those stripes that you've earned out in the field, what's the funniest or interesting story or most interesting story that's happened to you in your career? I suspect you picked up a few over the years, but is there anything that you are allowed to share with us today?
What is the saying? If you enjoy and have fun at what you do for a living, you will never work a day in your life.
Yes.
So this is something that I try to live by and try to bring fun into my work. As a result, as you said, I have a ton of funny stories, and perhaps maybe I should write a book one day. Everything I've collected. So how about this? I'll give you a choice of what you want to hear. Let's say a dumpster diving story or taking 5 showers in one day.
Oh, man, there's two very different rabbit holes there, isn't there? But I'm gonna go with the shower, 5 showers in one day.
All right. So I was working on a very interesting innovation use case with one of our customers and the world's largest producer of pork. So without giving too much detail, the use case was leveraging machine learning capabilities of the platform. And we had to observe pigs in their natural captive habitat, right, at 3 experimental farms. So I took shower number 1 in the morning at the hotel, and after breakfast, we went to the farm. So first of all, you start to smell the farm about a mile away. And then when we got to the farm, we were required to go through the process of disinfecting, and we didn't know about it in advance. So it was a bit awkward. What it meant was we had to undress in one room, and then put all our clothes in the locker, then step into the showers, then come out on the other side of the showers, and they had bins with communal clean underwear in all sizes, socks, overalls, and so on. So you get dressed there, then you step into another room where they had rubber boots of different sizes, and then you're ready to step outside and on the farm and into the barns. Then after we concluded our tours, we had to reverse the process, right? So you take your boots off, you take your clothes off, put them in the dirty bins, right? Step into the shower, and then step in the next room, get dressed. And then we had to repeat the same process in the next 2 locations. So once we left the farms, the smell kind of stays with you for the whole day, right? And it feels like you can never wash it off. So after we had, our dinner, right, and we got back to our hotel, I had just had to take another shower. So that was number 5. But I do have to say, this was a bit weird and unorthodox on many levels. And it was still an absolutely amazing learning experience to understand how the pigs are raised, how they are being protected from diseases and viruses, and the whole farm to table process was absolutely invaluable.
What a great story. Absolutely love that. But I think we're going to have to get you back on later in the year to find out about the dumpster story as well. So we will get you back on. We can keep that one banked for our next interview. But for anyone listening, just wanting to find out more information about yourself, the JDC Group, how they can work with you, or just find out more information, where would you like to point everyone listening?
First of all, thank you so much for having me on. It was a blast, and absolutely, I'll tell you the story about the dumpster diving at some point. It's been really great discussing BTP services and how critical it is for companies taking the S4 transformation journey, and really look forward to our future discussion. Maybe I want to point everyone to JDC Group's website, jdc-group.com, or you can also find us on LinkedIn under JDC Group. We are technology and solution provider, and we have lots of experience, and our clients can tap into our world-class consulting services and solutions, and we can help them drive their enterprise transformation initiatives.
Well, I'll get those links added so people can find you nice and easily. I just can't thank you enough, though, for coming on today and demystifying so much of these complex technologies and the journey that people are on right now, and the challenges that are facing businesses, but equally some of the amazing opportunities on the horizon too. But I'd love to get you back on later in the year, like I said a few moments ago, but more than anything, just thank you for sitting down with me today at the beginning of 2024. Thanks again.
Thank you so much for having me on.
And that's a wrap for another insightful discussion. A huge thank you to Michael for helping me cover a wide range of crucial topics today, from the challenges and strategies of cloud migration, the cutting-edge capabilities of SAP BTP, the transformative services offered by the JDC Group. And as we navigate towards 2027 SAP migration deadline, I think the insights shared by Michael today are invaluable for any organisation embarking on this journey. And if you are on that journey, I'd love to hear from you. Please email me, techblogwriter@outcom, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, just @NeilC.Hughes. Let's keep this conversation going. But that's it for today. So just thanks for listening as always. And until next time, don't be a stranger.